Hello, good day everyone, and welcome to class. My name is Ehedu Chuks, and I'll be taking you data processing. My target audience for this video is or are the SS3 students preparing for their West African Senior Secondary Certificate examination. We are all aware of the fact that the world is suffering a pandemic, COVID-19. That doesn't mean the world is coming to an end. So we have to prepare, or we have to still continue to prepare for our examination. The class is not just for the SS3 students. Any other students who feel you want to join, you can join, and I'm sure you will enjoy the class and it will be easy for you to understand. All right, the topic for today, or it's a subtopic under internet, and it's titled web browser. Now, the web browser, or rather, before I go into the web browser, I'm going to be looking at the alternative to practical approach. WASSCE actually doesn't give a hands-on practical during the examination. However, they are going to test your knowledge of practical. That is where the alternative to practical comes in. Okay, so the presentation outline for this subtopic, or this topic, web browser, is as follows. We are going to talk about the definition of web browsers, the examples, the uses, features, and function. And that's being stated, I would now want us to see the specific objectives of this class. Now, these are the things we hope to achieve at the end of this class. We should be able to define a web browser. We should be able to identify a web browser. When you see the environment of a web browser, how is it different from other application software like the presentation, the spreadsheet, and what have you. We are going to be able to list examples of web browsers, the uses, and to identify some of the features common to web browsers. Okay, now let's go back to the presentation. What is web browser? What is a web browser? A web browser is an application software that allows computer users to access the web pages of a website. Now, it's important in this definition to emphasize the application software. We know that we have various types of software, so you have to be specific when answering the question, what is a web browser, by telling us that it's an application software. This software will first of all be installed in your system, and after that, you as the user, the computer user, will be able to access the web pages of a website. At least that's the primary use of a web browser. Okay, without wasting time, we'll go further to see the examples. First of all, you have the Mozilla Firefox, and there is a mini diagram at the right hand side of the screen where you see the environment, how the Mozilla Firefox look like. That's basically how all other browsers look like. Now we have Mozilla Firefox, we have the Google Chrome, we have the Microsoft Internet Explorer. Now, in listing all this, the Safari, the Opera, Avant, and the UC Web browser, there are many other examples. Now, in listing this, if you are asked examples of web browsers, it's important to note this. Don't say Mozilla. Don't say Mozilla. Rather, you say Firefox. But if you need to call it in full, you say Mozilla Firefox, because Mozilla are actually the owners. Firefox is the name of the application, just like you have Microsoft Internet Explorer. The browser's name there is Internet Explorer. Microsoft are just the original, or are the owners of the Internet Explorer. The same goes to Google Chrome. Safari is a web browser associated with Apple products. Now you have the Opera. Before now, or some of you know it as Opera Mini. Actually, the Mini is the smaller version of this one, and that's the one most phones and devices carry about. So instead of calling it Opera Mini, just call it Opera. You have the Avant, the UC Web browsers, and so many others. Now it's important to mention the examples of browsers that you are familiar with, that are common, before you start going into the ones that you might not be familiar with. That will make it easier for your examiner and also for you to remember. Now we'll go over to the next point or next outline, which is uses. What do we use browsers for? We primarily know that web pages, accessing web pages or viewing the web pages of a website is the primary use of a browser. However, there are some other uses. You can use it to view some file formats such as PDF and other files stored in HTML file formats. Now I'm going to give a quick example of how you can use the browser to view a PDF file. I have a PDF format here. There's a PDF file. Now I'm going to right click, which gives you options, and then go to open with, and you will see Google Chrome there. I'm clicking it. This is actually the content of that file being opened on a web browser. You see the reload, you see the home, you see the back, and the other features associated with a browser. Now we go back to the presentation. You can also use this web browser for entertainment purpose. When you use it to watch your videos, you're streaming music, you're streaming games, videos, whatever you're doing on the internet through that browser is one of what you use the browser for. So you can use it to stream videos. You can also use it for its FTP function. What is FTP? File Transfer Protocol. That is, you can use the browser to upload. You can use it to download files, like you're uploading stuffs on your Facebook account, on your YouTube video or your YouTube channel or whatever. You can also be downloading stuff like your movies, like your music and the rest of them. You can also use the web browser for communication. Example, when you use it to send emails, which is an internet-based service, you are using the browser. When you log into your accounts under Google or under Yahoo, and you're sending mail, that's one of the functions of one of the uses of a web browser. You can also use it to make video calls, like your web-based Skype call, your Facebook calls. You can use it to chat and the rest of them. Now you have the last one on our list here, which is in education. Web browsers are used to access electronic, make research. You can use them in group research, like we have the Google Doc, Google Sheets, Google Presentation, where you can open a page and different people contribute. You can access that with a web browser, and that will make your education much easier and fun to some extent. All right, the uses of a browser are not just this, but we'll stop here for now. These are basically the major ones. Okay, we go to the features. One of the things you see in a browser is the address bar. Very important. The address bar. That bar is like a space. We'll get to see it later on in this video. It allows you to type in the website or the web address. You have the navigation icons, which are the back arrow, that's the back icon, and the forward icon. The back moves takes you to the page before the one you're currently on, while the forward can move you to the page you were before you went back. Now you have the home icon. This takes you to the first page of the browser, or you call it the home page of the browser. Now you have the reload and the refresh. This icon forces the browser to reload the current web page. Now there are various reasons why you may want to reload as a user. One may be that the web page did not load properly, probably due to its network issues or whatever. Another is for you to get the most recent updates on that web page. So these are the reasons why you may need to reload or refresh a web page, and you can use the icon to do that. Now you have the search bar. The search bar is used to get information on topics whose websites are not known to you. They are basically used for research purposes. They contain search engines, which we'll get to see later on. Now, if you want to know more about WASSCE and you don't know the web pages or the websites to visit to get that information, you can simply go to the search bar, type in WASSCE, and the search engine will help you find links to different websites where you can see that information. Now you have the tab. The tab allows users to visit multiple sites or web pages simultaneously. Like you can be on Facebook, you can be on your Google, you can be on your school website, as the case may be. Let me give you an example. Good. Now you can see I'm on Google here. I can be making research, I can be reading the Vanguard news, I can visit a school homepage and the rest. So these are some of the things you get to do with the tab function. Now when you add, you have the new tab icon that allows you to add tabs that you'll be able to use to open more sites or more web pages. Now you have the bookmark icon. This allows you to create an icon for easy access to a site you visited, often visit, or hope to use in future. Now instead of you memorizing that website, or in order not to forget, you can easily enter it the first time and then bookmark it, so that subsequent time you may not have to go through such stress. Now you have the minimize, maximize, restore, and close icon. They perform the same function as in some other applications like Word, presentation, and spreadsheet. Now you have the menu or options. Some other browsers call it tool icon. This allows you to access the browser settings, view history, and other browser functions, features, other browsers information or features. All right, now we'll now talk about the search engine. A search engine is a software, usually a web-based tool that help computer or internet users locate information on the World Wide Web. The most used part of the internet is the World Wide Web. Now, there are information whose websites you might not know. All you need to do is type in the much you can remember on the search bar, and the search engine which you are currently using will be able to locate one or two resources that concerns that topic and the web pages where you can find them. Now, examples of these web search engines are the Google, the Yahoo, the Bing, the Wikipedia, the Ask, and so on. I will get to show you all this when we go into the practical session. All right. Now let's see some examples of web browsers. Let's see some examples of web browsers. I'm going to show you a few. Now, first on my list is the Microsoft Internet Explorer. Now, this is the Internet Explorer. Basically, you see the back, you see the front or the forward, you see the address bar. Now, however, the search bar and the address bar are being fused together. In such cases, you will get to see this lens or this lens sign in that same bar. So that will tell you that this bar is not only serving as a search bar, but also as an address bar. Now here you have the tab. You can also add new tabs here. That is the Internet Explorer. You have the home icon that looks like a house. You have the bookmark icon that looks like a star. You have your tools or your menu, like I said, with your minimize and all that. Now that is the Internet Explorer. I will go over now to show you the Avant. This is the Avant browser. As you can see on this side, the Avant browser. It has a distinct feature, something different from something we did not really see in the Internet Explorer, probably because we have not loaded any page. So, but you can see the stop icon there. This is used to terminate the loading of a page. Probably you are loading your school page and all of a sudden you feel it's a mistake. You can simply close it. Sometimes it could be pop-ups that come as a result of visiting some sites. You can easily close them using this icon. Now the refresh button, like I said, this is the refresh button. It looks like a bended arrow. You have your home icon, you have your bookmark, you have the address bar here, and below here you have the search bar. Now the search engine used here is Avant field. You can actually change this to Google or you change it to Yahoo. Okay, so this is actually the go or the enter. There's an arrow here, the go or the enter. So after typing your web address here, like www.gmail.com, you can easily hit the go or the enter icon to proceed. Okay, I'll show you another browser. We have the Safari. This is how the Safari looks like. The same buttons, or rather the same icons. You can find the address bar, the search bar, the tools or menu icon, and the rest of them. Okay, we'll go over to check out the Google Chrome. It has the same features: your back, your reload, your home, the search bar and the address bar fused together, your bookmark icon and the menu icon. So okay, we'll go to the last one, which is the Firefox. Now Firefox also has the back, it has the reload, it has the address bar. This can help you see some of the pages you have visited before. Okay, you have the search bar, you have the bookmark icon, the download icon that takes you to the page where you find all you have downloaded using that app. This browser, you have a home icon, the menu, and then where you add your new tab. You can add it to add a new tab so that it expands, and then you can also close when the need arises. You can close the tabs. All right, now I talked about the home icon that takes you to the first page of the browser. Now that home icon can be customized. You can decide to make it your Facebook page, you can decide to make it a Google page, you can decide to even make it your school website. All you need to do, go to the options settings, click on options, and then this page opens. You go to home page, show my home page, and you go to home page and then type in whatever you want to be there. Let's say facebook.com, and that's it. And whenever you open the browser, and you're connected to the internet, the first thing you'll definitely see will be the Facebook page. All right, so that's it. I'll have to change this to Google because that's what I want to use. All right, now you can see the number of tabs open here. Like I told you, you have about 5 tabs open there. All right, so that being said, let's proceed to the question section. Let's see how much we understand the little I've said in this class. Now the questions are at the left hand side of the screen, and the image on the slide is what will we use to answer these questions. Now the first question there is, what is the general name for this application? You're given this question, you're given that image, this image here, and you're asked, what is the general name for this application? Now it's important to note this, that they are not expecting you to say Firefox, they're not expecting you to say UC browser. All they expect you to say is what they call all of them, and this is what we call web browser. Web browser. Now you are going to, the next question is saying, just like you have the general name for Microsoft, Lotus, Word Pro as word processors, you have the general name for Excel, Lotus 123 as spreadsheets. That's how you have this as web browser. Now you go to the identification of the letters there, letters A to K on the image. Now you should know what A is, which is the icon that takes you backwards to your previous page, and also be able to tell us the function. You have the B, which is the forward. You have the C, which is one of the open tabs. You have the D, which is the address bar. The E, the reload icon. F, the search bar. G is the bookmark icon. H is to add a new tab, and I is the home icon, J is the menu or the options or the tools or whatever you need to call it depending on the browser. K, I'll leave that to you to answer. You should be able to know what K is. Alright, now the next question is saying the name of the search engine displayed on the diagram is dash. The name of the search engine displayed on the diagram is dash. I would also want to leave this to you to answer. Well, if you don't get it, I think you should ask some other person or find a way around it, but I want you to answer that on your own. Now, number 4. Okay, I think I will answer this. The name of that search engine is Google. Now that brings me to some other stuff I missed out. Okay, now how do you change the search engine you are using? Now this is a browser and my default search engine could be Google, but I want to change it. I want to see the others that are there. I'll go to my menu, go to the options, and then go to search. And when you go to search here, you see default search engine. You can see Google there. Now you can decide to choose from any of that, the Bing, the Wikipedia, and the rest of them, and that becomes your default. So the answer to that question is Google, because from the screen you can see Google. So that's the search engine. Okay, now the last one, from the diagram, how many tabs are open? From the diagram, how many tabs are open? I'll leave that question to you to answer. All right. Before we go, let's do a recap of what we did today. First of all, we started under the specific objective. We said we should be able to define web browsers, and that's what you find here. That is an application software that allows computer users to be able to access or view the web pages of the website when connected to the internet. Now you should be able to know how a browser look like. Definitely browsers, you find the back icon, the reload icon, the home icon, the address bar or the search bar, the bookmark icon. This makes it quite different from spreadsheet packages, presentation packages, word processors. So you should be able to do that and give us examples like the Google Chrome, the Firefox, the Internet Explorer, the Opera. At least these ones, we are used to them. Now you should also be able to tell us other uses of a browser apart from the fact that it's used to view web pages. And finally, you should be able to identify some of the parts or the features, the components, those things you find on a web browser, just like we did in the questions section. All right, having done all this, I would want to leave us with an assignment which you'll find on the notes section now. Good, the assignment is there, and the assignment says the icon with letter Y. Okay, let's go back to that slide. The icon with letter Y, that's it. The icon with letter Y, that's this. Letter Y indicates that the website on screen is dash. You see a padlock close to that. The Y arrow head is pointing to a padlock. Why is the padlock there? And why is it active? So you should be able to tell us why and do that research on your own as an assignment. Now 2, I want you to look at this diagram well and reproduce the minimize and the close icon as seen in the diagram. So wherever you think the minimize and close icon is on the diagram, look for it, the icon, and reproduce it. Now number 3, the icon with letter Z is used to dash. Z is here, letter Z, and you will see it's pointing to something that looks like an X or so. I want you to tell us what that icon is used for with respect to the diagram displayed. Now, and number 4, draw any other web browser of your choice and label it. Just give a sketch. It mustn't be a fine artwork. Give a sketch and tell us what and what you find on that browser. I think this will help you. All right, having done all this, I think if you go through the video over and over again, read the text you have available as well as your notes, which probably you should have done all this, the theory aspect before now, you should be able to do well when this kind of question comes up during your exam. We pray God to sustain us and help us find a cure, a vaccine to this COVID-19 virus, so that this pandemic of the world will end and we'll see you in class. Have a nice day and God bless you.